Okay, so just a couple of things to go over. Firstly, I looked into when Electrum was discovered. It was discovered around 3000 BC. So.
Whoa!
Oh, what's that?
Wait, I thought that was a made-up thing.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's like a mix of gold and silver, maybe something like that. But it's like a natural composite.
Cool.
If that's the right word. And the first coins in Electrum, well, the first coins were actually made out of Electrum, but that wasn't until around like 600 BC. So they wouldn't really, I think I've already mentioned, there wouldn't really be coins in the Bronze Age, but I think Elliot Brightwhisk mentioned in the last session that something about the coins having been left to the people from the old gods. The tall beings. I also had a look to see whether there was lead-based ink, because I realized afterwards that I don't know if that would be realistic, and there probably wasn't any lead-based ink in the Bronze Age, so I'm thinking maybe the ink that you got, Twig, would be made from a mix of various ingredients extracted from like plants and animals, minerals and things. I think the reason I said it was lead-based was because there is actually a spell, illusory script, that needs lead-based ink, but we'll just say that this ink will suffice. Not that, I don't know if that was actually even on your radar, but now you know.
Interesting. I don't use lead-based inks.
Not good for you?
That's
my
organic
preference, actually.
only.
Organic only. Vindaros, I think I said that you have a rare shell, and I think I told you it was worth 1 copper, but a rare shell would be worth 1 silver. So you've got like 8 silver pieces worth of rare shells there.
Thank you.
I'm going to try another version of surprise that's like a little bit simpler and maybe not quite as extreme, but I'll explain that when we get there. Right click should now work for the ruler. I don't know if it wasn't working before or if I just hadn't found the correct settings, but you should be able to kind of run it pretty similar to how it was before. You can also hold control to teleport, and you can hit the minus key to remove a waypoint, which is actually like kind of nicer than some of those things. It seems a little bit nicer than the other version. And finally, here are some reasons why you can get lost, even if following the sun. The landscape can force you to divert course, leading you to a different hex than intended. You can have distractions and lapses in attention. It can be difficult to consistently estimate the sun's exact trajectory, so you won't notice when you're making like slight deviations, and those slight deviations can actually accumulate, and like over time you can find yourself quite significantly off course. Atmospheric conditions can like obscure the sun or kind of diffuse its light, and the sun rises at different angles depending on where you are or what time of year you're in. So yeah, I just thought that was because I sort of stopped asking for navigation checks, because after you guys were like, yeah, but we're just following the sun, then I was like, can't think of a reason to justify this. But yeah, so I thought I'd have a look into that.
You're like, and here comes the lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse.
Yeah. Bang.
Solar eclipse. Bang. No more sun.
Unluckiest of days.
It's like, 10 minutes. Okay, let's go.
On this world, it lasts for as long as it takes you to get to the other side of these planes. Actually, that's one thing that I haven't been able to work out yet, is when the solar eclipses happen on this world. Because they would happen. The moon is just the right size to do like a total solar eclipse, but I haven't. That's one thing I don't know. And just a reminder, or I don't know if you knew this, but if you get lost, if you move at a slow, because when you get lost, usually it's disadvantage on a survival check to navigate. But if you move at a slow pace, you can do that. Usually moving at a slow pace would allow you to make survival checks at advantage, so it would make it a flat roll. All right. So, what do you all remember from the last session?
Also, compliments on the intro as well, like the previous intro.
Oh yeah, liking it. I gotta put the player credits in it.
Oh,
Ooh.
Too much all about me at the moment.
We met a traveling merchant.
Yep, some
Who
Vulcan
gave us-
merchants.
Yeah.
Lots of presents.
Everest,
Everett?
Bright Whisk,
Everett Bright Whisk?
Yeah.
It was so funny when you realized that he was like a vendor. Angelo, you're like, Twig, where's how much money have we got? Where's what do we got? What can we do here?
Almost missed him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. From that question, it was like another 40 minutes of shopping. So
Shopping always takes a long time,
yeah, it
but
was quite good actually.
yeah, I usually find it enjoyable.
Yeah.
Probably not for anyone external to the game watching it, but whatever. I don't think we get any of those anyway, so it's not a problem. What else? You had a surprise from the skies?
Ah, that was
Oh yeah.
Twig almost died.
That was tough.
when
Yes, that's true.
when Vindaris was thinking back on that. He's like, they're quite lucky that he actually did quite well with one of his attacks, followed with AMA.
Yes.
Yeah, because it took like a round for everyone to sort of fail at like getting that thing off Twig, and it was like, "Ah," for
I
a
think
bit
it was
there.
like 3 rounds before I attacked it.
Yeah. I was pretty
yeah.
You're
nervous.
just like saving up your energy, like charging up.
Then we're heading south down is it Smorgan's Road? I forgot the name of the road.
Small Guns Road. Yep.
Yeah, to come across that trail to lead us into the forest, into the
Yeah.
village of Squirrelfolk.
Find
Yep.
the Ratfolk.
And they've had their young ones taken from them as well. We've been informed.
Yep.
And they're about to
And-
bend the knee.
Yeah, because they need some help. Is bend the knee a proprietary turn of phrase? We have to come up with something different. Other things that happened, Vindaris had a swollen tongue from putting some nettles
Oh
in
yeah.
his mouth.
That's tasty.
The elusive mystery mushroom remains anonymous for another week.
Remains elusive. Elusive. And yeah, not much else. Oh, you identified the Scarf of Pondering, and you.
Oh yes.
I think actually I realized also that you, at one point you probably should have had some rations, because I think we thought that you had eaten at Yao Mei, but you had actually taken a long rest subsequent to that. But it doesn't matter because you've bought a whole bunch of rations now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, other than that,
Or did we... Sorry, you can correct me if I'm wrong. On the side of the road, we were preparing a small campfire to cook food.
yeah.
There wasn't anything large. I can't remember if we ate them there.
Oh, maybe that was the same day, and then maybe you ate those like fresh. You made like a nettle soup with some not quite mushroom seasoning.
Can't believe it. It's not mushroom.
Why would you think it's not mushroom? Reddy has had a good look at it, and as far as he's concerned, it's just regular old
Edible
mushroom.
mushroom.
What's that quote? Like, all mushrooms are edible. Some are just edible ones.
Nice. All right. So you spent about 5 hours traveling today so far. And as you mentioned, Angelo, you've traveled some way south along Smorgon's Road, following Everett Brightwhisk's directions, kind of following the edge of this Calydon Forest, having come up here to the West Calydon toll gate and interacted with some Suskin there, and that's where you met the Brightwhisks. So you're following this road back down, and you've just seen this small dirt trail leading to the east into the forest, which is like significantly smaller than Smorgon's Road. You could probably fit like a couple of carts side by side on Smorgon's Road. It's a big wide dirt road. This smaller trail, you could only just squeeze like a small wagon on it. And so you turn left towards the forest, and you begin moving to the east. And as it's still some way from the road into the edge of the forest. There's a bunch more trees here. They kind of get thicker as you progress. It probably takes you about an hour to move this distance in, about another like 5 kilometers towards the sort of forest proper. And as you get closer, you kind of see these trees looming over you. But the trees are predominantly leafless and skeletal. The forest is like mostly just dead and grey because it's the middle of winter. There are still like some evergreens kind of scattered throughout, but otherwise it looks, you can kind of hear the wind blowing through it, and these trees are kind of creaking and kind of reaching their kind of spindly, gnarly limbs out towards you. It doesn't look like particularly welcoming. And this forest is also like it's a lot less damp than the sort of coastal forest where the ruins are. It has a much kind of drier feel to it. As you begin to pass through here, you can see that it sort of varies in how light it is. Like sometimes you go through these kind of dark areas, and other times there's these glades and sort of open areas where the sunlight comes in and sort of allows for some sort of shrubs and things to grow along the understory. But otherwise the floor is like mostly just littered with these kind of rotting leaves, and there's lots of like sticks and fallen branches and twigs and things like that. And you can come in here, you move like another 5 kilometers, probably takes you about another couple of hours this time.
If you can also remind us what time of day it is as well, that'll be great.
So now it's coming into the afternoon.
Okay.
And you've probably travelled about as far as you can travel for the day. You're starting to get a little bit tired now. Unless you want to push on, of course, and risk some exhaustion. But I've also changed, just so you know, the requirement for when you can start a long rest. I've reduced it down to 12 hours since when you last woke. So you can't start a long rest within 12 hours of when you last woke, rather than 16 or whatever it was before. That way you can sort of go to sleep a little bit earlier. But yeah, as you pass into this forest, you see these mostly dead and some green trees all around you, and you're just kind of following this path. What do you do as you begin to feel tired and it starts getting a bit later in the day? It's probably around like you know, the equivalent of like 4 in the afternoon. And it's pretty dim, you know, it's winter, like it's pretty overcast.
I think it's a good time to move off the road, off the trail, and set up camp in a sheltered, protected area if you could.
I have to agree with that.
So, if you just want to move off the trail and just sort of look for... How will you sleep in here? There's a lot of kind of just, yeah, like leaves and sticks and things on the ground. Are you kind of looking... It's fairly uneven ground, it's fairly rocky.
Could we pile up some dead leaves to make sort of a pile of, like a big mattress?
Well, you do have bedrolls now.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, but
But you could also...
This is my vision. This is my vision. You see, you have a pile of these lovely soft dead leaves, and then they're probably a bit wet, so it's a bit uncomfortable. Then we roll up over our bedrolls, and then we'll have a luxurious sleep.
Genius.
I mean, Darius doesn't understand anything you're saying, and he's just nodding.
You can make a check if you want, Twig.
Oh, yeah, I can try and...
DC is pretty low now.
Translate it. It's 12. Okay. Fantastic.
Nice.
That's a great idea.
Hey!
All right. I'll say, give me a survival check, Twig, as you're kind of looking around for a place where you can do that, just to see. And
Can
if
I
everyone, yeah,
I was going to say if I can assist Twig.
yeah, Twig, you can roll with advantage if everyone is kind of looking for a good place to park.
Oh my. That's...
Yeah, like around here, the ground is kind of just covered in a lot of sticks and twigs and like rocks and things. And although you are able to find plenty of these leaves that you can sort of pile up, it's still not. You don't find any nice kind of clear space, and you're going to have to sort of make do with sleeping sort of on some pretty uncomfortable ground. And maybe it's also not. You know, maybe you have to kind of like trudge through these trees some way to actually feel that you're not visible from the path as well. But otherwise, you know, there's not really anything else that's going to prevent you from doing what you're trying to do. And maybe it takes you like another kind of half hour or something to do that. But you still have some time. It's still kind of, you know, in the afternoon. What else do you do before you go to sleep?
Might go around for some food if there's any mushrooms or other sort of shrubbery growing that might be edible in this mostly dead forest.
Yeah. Give me how long are you willing to look for?
Probably like 2 hours, I'm thinking. What do you think, Twig?
Yeah. I can also look for 2 hours.
Okay.
Get this to like 7 or so.
Yes. All right. You spend 2 hours searching. And unfortunately, in 2 hours, you aren't able to find any food. It's, yeah, there's not much growing around here. And it's starting to get pretty dark as you're kind of searching around. You feel like maybe if you continued searching, you don't know, you might stumble upon something, but yeah, in 2 hours you're not able to turn anything up that's edible. Unless you can eat some twigs. Unless you can eat twig.
Last resort.
I'm very low in fiber.
Vindaris will be setting up that sail as cover for the evening as well.
Okay.
In that camp that they found.
Sweet. You can do that.
Um,
Kind of tie it to some of these kind of spindly trees and things. Kind of creates this like uneven shelter, but it's like it'll do. You pile all these twigs piling up all these leaves underneath it. And so you both were searching, both of you were searching for herbs. But you're both searching, well, I'll roll for each of you actually, because I guess that was, I was rolling for ready. So, yes, you're also not able to find anything in 2 hours, unfortunately. Twig.
Maybe I think I find... I'm not very familiar with, like, vegetables. And so I think I find something and it's all, like, it's all twigs.
No, that's a stick twig.
Process.
But you probably have like another hour and a half. Or you can just turn in for the night. Oh, you're on mute.
Vindaris.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you were on mute.
Oh, he might start taking out his woodcarver's tools that he just purchased.
Oh, yeah.
And he might start working on a little side project.
Ooh.
Nice. He hasn't been able to do that for a while.
No,
since we
yes.
first met him, he was working
Yeah.
on a figurine.
What's it look like?
Oh, it's pretty basic at the moment. He's just trying to find the right piece to start with, and then probably just like shaving it off and shaping it. So just it's not taking too much form at the moment, but we'll see what happens.
Cool.
And do you guys light a fire for the night?
Yes. I think that would make sense.
Okay. I mean, you do know that this forest is, home to Ratfolk and perhaps other strange creatures, of course. But it is, at the moment, probably as the sun goes down, it's nearly zero, maybe like -1. It's very cold. The wind through these trees is like pretty low, but it's still like fucking freezing. So it's up to you which thing you think is more.
I was gonna say we do have the bedrolls now to assist with warmth, and I think most of us have blankets as well. Maybe it's a bit hard to say how cold we'll get if we realize if we're in the bedroll with a blanket, if we still require a fire.
Yeah, if we huddle together, would we be warm enough to forgo fire?
Yeah, I think probably at these temperatures, seeing as you have blankets and bedrolls. Do you all have blankets? I can't remember, but you have bedrolls at least.
I have bedroll.
Oh no, you do all have blankets. I remember you got them from the infirmary at Yanakishla, I think. I think maybe a Yao Mei has them, maybe on a bedroll.
I have one.
Okay.
Oh, actually,
I don't have
Vindaris has 4.
Nice.
And I guess with that sail will keep any frost or night air off us, any dew.
Yeah. All right. So if you're not going to light a fire, you can
Still have watches though.
still have watches. Okay. So at this point, I think you probably need to eat your ration and drink some water. I don't think you've done that today.
Would anyone like a carnivore ration?
It's okay. Okay. Got one here.
You got one? Okay. Do you think Yao Mei would want one, or does he have rations?
So Yao Mei has herbivore rations. Oh wait, is he an omnivore? Can't remember.
I think so.
Omnivore.
I'm pretty sure Yao Mei was holding a lot of the herbivore rations, but that's okay. I had a couple on me as well.
Okay, so a Yao Mei, I'll remove a herbivore ration. He can eat that. And can drink... You got to drink 4 liters of water. And these water skins only hold 2. And also, Vindaris, you've got to eat 2 rations as well, remember?
Yep, done that.
Nice. So you need 2 water skins of rations.
Is there like a water source nearby? Can we go fill up our water skins?
You will need to search for a water source.
Oh.
So, let me see. Okay. How long do you search for a water source?
How long do I have before getting exhausted?
If you wanted to actually travel to a different hex, then you'll begin risking exhaustion right away because you've traveled your 8 hours today. But you can stay up. You can stay up late until 24 hours from when you last woke, which I think was about 8 in the morning, I think.
Okay.
So you could search for quite a while tonight to find a water source.
I would like to search for, I guess, like 4 hours or something.
4 hours?
Yeah,
5 hours?
Yeah, Vindaris will also be searching as well. If we do a quick count on water skins, Vindaris takes out 1 water skin.
Yao Mei has 1 as well.
Okay, so I think we've pretty much got 1.
Yeah, I just have 1. Does someone not have 1?
I have 2,
But you need 2.
Okay.
for each, yeah.
Nice. Okay. How long did you say you searched for?
4 hours.
4 hours. Luckily, in 2 hours' time, as you're kind of searching through this brush and these dead trees and all these leaves and everything, and it's starting to get very dark and even colder, you finally stumble on what looks like a very, very small little stream, little creek, and a little pond that you can kind of clamber down some rocks. I mean, mostly, actually, I guess this thing is just a little bit of water running over some stones. There's not very much here, but luckily it is enough for you to drink.
Oof.
There's a 50% chance of there being a water source in a hex, and then you've got to like find it. I didn't ask for a survival check. I just realized. That's all right. You can have this one. But yeah, there's like firstly a 50% chance of there being a water source, and then I roll to see how long it would take you to find it, like how hard it is to find. So I rolled a couple of good rolls, so you can all drink. Okay. So you head back to camp, and you are going to do watches. I've got the watches from last time, which was Twig, Yao Mei, Reti, and then Vindaros. Do you want to go with the same sort of default watches?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And move to the next day, but nobody take... Don't take a rest yet. And let me see. Okay, interesting. So somewhere around midnight, as Twig finishes his watch and begins to feel like he's ready to go to sleep, he goes and he wakes. So Yao Mei would be next, but let's swap Yao Mei with one of you guys, seeing as Tara's not here. Reti, you would be next. So maybe you. Twig, you go and you wake up Reti. And you're just about to to swap watches when both of you give me a perception check. And I'll say that the minimum for this check will be your passive perception as well.
Whoa.
Oh, nice. Okay. Let me just... What do you got? 1d4. Okay. This thing... See how stealthy it's being. Oof, okay. As you're swapping, you hear something coming directly from the north, and it's kind of there's some sort of something kind of walking through the trees. It's not making any sound, as you don't hear any growling or speaking or anything like that. But you hear some kind of movement, and it's moving. It's quite quick. It's like kind of rustling through these trees, and it is moving in your direction. What do you do?
I'm gonna wake up Vindaros and Yao Mei.
Okay,
How do you wake him up? Okay, give me a stealth check.
Oh, okay, stealthily.
Ooh,
Oh
10.
dear.
Don't do the same from Hayam.
Okay, maybe give me a stealth check as well. Maybe I'll roll.
Whoa.
Okay, so Reti, you can like pretty quietly like creep over to to Yao Mei and wake him up. But Twig, how did you say you were trying to do this? Or how were you going to say you were trying to do it?
It's like, wake Vindaros up, like sort of like shaking him in the shoulder, and saying shh.
Okay. as you were saying, like literally at the same time, you move your right foot and it just steps on this like big, like crunchy, like in fact, it's the pile of twigs and leaves and things that you got previously thinking it was like something edible. You're just like, and as that happens, you hear this kind of like movement. It just stops. And Vindaris, you can sort of sit up. You're just kind of in a bedroll with a blanket on. What do you do?
If I can take up, like, open up the bedroll, if I'm thinking it's like a sleeping bag.
Yep. You gotta unzip it.
Yeah, but yeah, unzip it, unbutton it. If that,
Oh yeah.
and not move, by the way. So I'm not.
Okay, not move. But are you prone?
Oh yes, I'll say I'll be. Yeah, on the knee, prone.
Okay. As you sit there not moving, you can kind of, you're all sort of peering into the darkness, into the trees to the north. And you wait a moment and you hear this like slight kind of rustling, like very subtle, like. And then all of a sudden you see this kind of flash of like purple light, almost like some kind of, it's like a beam, like kind of moving through the trees in your direction, like almost like a flashlight, but purple. It kind of flashes over you, and then you hear this as something begins running towards you.
Oh dear. I'm gonna cast Mage Armor.
Shit, okay. Cast Mage Armor. Ooh. I think probably at this point you'll have to cast Mage Armor. It's too late, as this thing is like running through the trees. Yeah, you would need to say it before. So, okay, put yourselves in where you want in this area, and maybe like, how big is that sail? Maybe the sail is like this. Like, it's 2 meters by 2 meters, isn't it?
It's only two by two, yeah.
And there's going to be a bunch of trees.
Oh, this is the sail. Okay, so I guess.
And maybe there's kind of a couple of trees on the ends of where you've tied this sail. Always these random encounter maps is just basically heaps of trees. Alright. Oh, what's happened? Everyone's kind of frozen or something on my screen. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Is that the case for yours as well?
No.
Can you see everyone's sort of these like movement?
Yeah, I can see the movement thingies.
Oh, the
Maybe.
waypoint.
Yeah, the waypoint thing is just like stuck there. Interesting.
Oh, Reddy's is gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait.
Maybe just need to be refreshed. I can see righties.
Yeah, Reddy's
Oh.
is changing.
It seems like we're still
Maybe
functional, so we'll just go with that. Okay. I'll try to work out what that is later. So, luckily there is only one of these. And as you look over where this kind of beam of light, this purple beam of light is coming from, and as it like sort of flashes over you, and you realize that it's like two beams, it's like, it looks like eyes. In the gloom, especially those of you who can see in dim light, because it's like a half moon at the moment, although you are in this forest, so it's pretty dark. So those of you that can't see anything, you just see this kind of silhouette just coming out of the gloom and just like running in your direction. But Twig, you have low light vision. Let me see. Reddy doesn't, I don't think. And Vindaris, I don't think you do.
No, I don't.
Okay. So you're going to be at some... You're going to have a bit of disadvantage at the moment. There's no campfire, unfortunately, so there's no light. So it's basically dark. But Twig, you see what looks like a chimp.
Ah!
But it is a skeleton. It is a skeleton chimp.
Whoa!
And it just comes like crashing through these trees, like it's making no noise aside from just, you know, the movement, its footsteps and breaking these tree branches and things. But you have heard of these things. These things exist on your continent as well. And if you remember, you did also see a skeletal being on the ship that you were on, although that being was different from this. That being essentially, to use out-of-game speak, was a human skeleton. But this is just like a chimp. And it has these purple glowing eyes that are now fixed intently on you, and it just runs at you. So let's roll for initiative.
Okay.
I didn't expect to get a random encounter as soon as we started playing. I guess that's the thing about random encounters, is there you don't expect them. Okay. But you're not surprised because you were keeping watch, and a couple of you that were on watch, you were able to identify or notice this thing coming through the trees. So, Twig. Oh, who hasn't rolled? Oh, Yao Mei. Who wants to control Yao Mei?
I'm happy to.
All right. I'll give you control of Yao Mei. Angelo. Oh, yeah. Okay. Should be able to move him now.
I have a question. Am I likely to have a shield on? I don't know at what point in the watch handing over.
I'll say that because you were in the process of swapping, that you would have kind of gotten up and picked up your shield and all that. So yeah, that's probably all right. Vindaros, on the other hand, well, you know, you sort of... I'll say that you can do that as well, because you got out of your sleeping bag and you had a moment to kind of... I imagine your shield was right next to you. You can kind of slide your arm through it, and I think that's okay. And we'll say the same thing for Yao Mei. Okay, Twig, what do? You're still kind of like under this sail.
Shit. I guess I'll cast Mage Armor first, because my other one's probably worn off at this point.
Yeah, so when did you cast it?
I think it was at the beginning of... Actually...
Because how long does it last again?
No, I mean, it's already been... Yeah,
it's
it's been 8 hours. And I'm going to move here.
Okay.
That's all. Maybe, yeah.
All right. Vindaris.
Vindaris will move out of the sail, because I picture that he can't stand underneath it.
Okay.
So I'll move into there. And then once he reaches that position, he'll stand up and ready his spear to attack if that creature is in range.
All right.
Just a quick question, just to let you know, I'm not sure if you realize this, when you type in your effects, your side effects. Normally you can type like
Yeah,
reaction.
the module doesn't function anymore, and I think the person that makes it is not gonna. They don't seem like they're gonna update it anymore. So you got to like search for it manually. It's a pain. But once you have added it, it's then like it'll stay in your sheet, and you can toggle it in your sheet instead. Like you'll notice you've still got bloodied there and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's kind of not so bad.
I think it's all in alphabetical order as well.
Yeah.
Which is, handy.
Yeah, so we kind of get used to it. Okay. This thing just comes charging in, and actually as it's going to come to about here, and it is going to... You just see these like kind of purple beams like just being cast over all of you, and then it seems to fixate on Reddy, and it is going to stare intently, and you feel this shiver just go down your spine inside your shell. And give me a wisdom saving throw as this thing just seems to pierce your soul with its gaze. Nice.
Ooh.
Okay. That is all it's going to do. So, Yao Mei.
Yao Mei's very tactical, so I think he'll definitely move around into that position and ready in action as well, within range to strike out the creature.
Just a sword?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'll say bronze sword that he's carrying.
All right, ready.
I can't really see it. But like, I'm going to use fairy fire.
Oh, so you can. Well, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, sweet. You know where it is because you can hear it, but it is otherwise for you invisible.
Okay. Cast spell. Ooh. Aha.
Okay. Make a dex save. Let me just see if it has anything that would.
No.
Oh.
As it's like running through the trees, it sort of somersaults, like just as you like cast this spell, and the spell kind of shimmers and like dissipates just above this thing, and it's not affected by it.
I do have a question. Can I see it now? I don't actually know how fairy fire works. It says it gives dim light to like objects in the area. So
each object in a cube within range is outlined in blue, green, or violet light. Interesting. Well, I think no, because I think it's outlined in this color, so you can see these trees and things.
okay. Yep.
But I don't think they're sort of casting
like
light.
A silhouette though. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Objects? Oh no, hold on. Objects and affected creatures shed dim light in a 2 meter radius. It says, I just needed to read a little bit further.
Oh.
So, I guess then, if it is within 2 meters of any of these trees, we'll say that it is not invisible.
Hooray.
Nice.
And I think I will cast Shillelagh as well.
Okay.
And that's it. Shillelagh.
All right. Tweak.
All right, I'm gonna try and cast bone hooks at 2nd level. He's gonna put out his hands like zombie style. So he needs to do a dex saving throw.
Okay.
And then take 4d. Oh, all right. I think it's a save or suck. So that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Or take 1d4 piercing damage per chain and become hooked. Yeah, so I guess you kind of cast this spell at the same time as this creature is somersaulting. It's dodging multiple things. And these chains just miss it. Anything else?
No, but Twig will also be like, wow, that's quite incredible. What an incredible creature.
Yeah, I can imagine Twig would be. I don't know if you. I'd say none of you have ever seen one of these things, but you've heard of them, and you've heard also. I'll say, well, if anyone wants to give me I think probably maybe a religion check. Yeah, if anyone wants to give me a religion check, you can see if you can remember anything about these creatures.
Religion.
I'll have to think about whether religion makes sense, because it's actually a creature type that I've invented. Yeah, I'll say that all of you have heard that these things cannot be killed. That when they come upon you, if you can sort of beat them down, that they will rise again.
Oh.
And it's very hard to kill them anyway. Okay, Vindaros.
Vindaros is actually going to make his way forward charge, and as he gets closer, probably can do like a somersault to avoid all this. And as he's standing up, that chimp just like attack him with his spear.
All right.
Okay.
And you can make a flat attack because you can.
That is the flint spear. I would know that. Attack.
I'll say also you would know some other things about it. You've heard that it can see directly into your soul, and it can see through other things. They're known to be these kind of unstoppable things. And I'll say actually also that as you run over here, Vindaros, and attack it with your spear, it just dodges out of the way, and you then not out loud, but in your mind, hear the sound of like but it's like in your mind. It's like telepathy.
Whoa.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay, this thing, after it dodges out of your way, it is going to attempt to just sort of jump up and just bring its fists down on your chest. Just. Oh, it looks like it hits.
Yep.
For 12 bludgeoning.
My halo expose the monkey.
Yep.
There we go.
Where it's
2 meters. Actually, that might not be 2 meters. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that you're 2 meters because you're diagonal, so it'd be 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. My bad. Sorry.
That's all right. But it is gonna follow up by reaching out with this, skeletal face, and you see these kind of bony fangs in its mouth. Some of its teeth are missing, and it is going to attempt to bite you as well, Vindaros. Nice. But I guess it just... what kind of armor are you wearing? I guess you were able to sort of deflect it with your shield. It's just like... Okay, Yao Mei.
Yao Mei will make his way up as well to support Vindaros. And flank the the chimp and then attack from behind with his bronze sword.
All right.
And that, yeah.
Ooh, so with this, with a nat 1 with a bronze weapon, this is going to dent the bronze sword.
Sorry, Yao Mei.
So let me see. What does it say? Oh yeah, it just does -1 damage subsequently. I think. Forget how I have to write. I found that it was doing something with the damage when I was doing this, like doubling the. Anyway, don't worry about that. I'll work that out. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all. Thanks.
This sword just kind of like gets, I guess, just sort of skids off its ribs as it sort of moves, and it kind of turns back and just like whacks the sword with the back of its hand, like out of the way, and you just hear this like sound, like kind of echoing off the trees. Ready.
Ready's going to use Symbiotic Entity.
All right.
He's going to move a bit closer, and now he'll cast Shillelagh because I don't think he actually could last turn.
Okay.
But that's it for Ready. He's just sort of standing there, staff at the ready.
All right, and you awaken these spores. They begin like floating around you, I guess.
Mm.
Okay, Twig.
Okay. I'm gonna try and battle psychic with psychic. Cast Mind Sliver.
Okay.
Like,
all right. It kind of like flashes you with these purple beamy eyes as you attempt to like pierce its mind, and you also hear it respond with this.
dang.
But inside your mind again. Anything else?
No.
Okay, Vindaris.
Vindaris would like to use a bonus action and cast Divine Favor.
All right.
So, each at the spell, your weapon attack deals an extra 1d4 radiant damage.
Nice.
Cool, and still continue with his spear. Spear attack.
That's a hit.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, yes.
Obviously.
Hey.
Sweet. And it should like,
dice.
because it's doubling the divine favor and everything as well, so that's cool. Okay.
Wow.
And let me see. All right. All right. So yeah, you just hear this kind of like loud grunting once again inside your head as this thing kind of like is like a bit unstable and sort of stumbles back into Yao Mei's shield for a moment. Anything else?
No, thanks.
Okay. It's going to respond by... yeah, it's just going to try to slam its fists into you again. 21. Gets you with another 5 bludgeoning.
Yeah.
Not so bad. And it is then going to attempt to bite at Retty. Actually, Retty, does it take its? Does it take that spore damage from you this time?
Yeah. Here's the
Okay, sweet. I'll make that con save.
Aha!
Okay, and it's necrotic.
Oh.
Is it necrotic damage? It is, I think. Yep.
It's if I hit critical, is it going to do it right? I think that will. That looks correct. Yeah.
as
Because I got the
these...
symbiotic. Yep.
Sorry, go on.
I was just saying because I got the symbiotic, that's why I rolled the critical hit as opposed to
Okay.
just a normal.
As you kind of react and send these spores in its direction, you also hear it kind of like in your head, and it just appears completely unaffected by these spores. They kind of fly towards it and like fly into its bones and around it and out of it, and it just doesn't seem to respond at all. And it's going to try to bite you in response. That's the only way that it responds. Oh. And it's going to bite you for 8 piercing and necrotic damage. Okay, Yao Mei. Oh, also, yeah, give me a con save for the...
No.
Oh no!
Okay, so Fairy Fire goes down as well.
Is that on my? You got okay.
Okay, Yao Mei.
Yao Mei will like to follow through with his broadsword attack. Yes.
– 17 hits,
Nice.
21.
It's alright. Yeah. I actually, when I hit the damage button, there's an error on my screen. Could you hear that for me?
Oh,
That pops
it's
up.
probably because I just tried to modify the damage of the bronze weapon and I did it in a weird way. There was some issue where it was... Because I'm putting -1 in here, it was... I can't remember what it was doing. Try now.
Oh, that's the -1, yep. And he'll also like to action surge as well.
Okay.
So I'll just use that. And also attack with the bronze. Yeah, back to...
Miss.
Oh. In turn.
Alright, ready.
I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire again because I can't see very well.
Okay.
So that's a dex save.
Everyone, though, in that area will need to make a dex save. So
Or is
that
it every
includes...
creature? Wait a second. I thought it was every creature I could choose.
I think you would know your own spell, so you can take that back if you
Yeah.
want. That's alright.
Maybe not then. I might just go with the good old shillelagh attack instead, with that in mind. At disadvantage, right?
Yes, at disadvantage now. That hits.
Yeah.
So with Shillelagh, none of it is bludgeoning damage, is it? Is it? It all does... Where's the spell? Like, is it...
The weapon becomes magical. There might still be bludgeoning.
Magical. Yes. Okay, that's cool.
And then the extra damage from symbiotic hit today. I won't bother, I think, because it's necrotic.
Yes. Yeah, you're pretty convinced that that's not going to affect it. But it looks very pained by the shillelagh attack. I'll say because it's... Actually, I'm pretty confused because I kind of need to know if it's bludgeoning. So even though it's magical... I can't remember what the deal is with this. Like, does it become magical on top of what it already does? So it's still doing bludgeoning damage? I feel like it does. Well,
I guess so, but I don't really have any idea.
yeah, I'm going to say that it does in this case. And I'll look it up later. So as you like, so how do you end this thing? Well, okay, hold that thought. I will instead. You crack this thing in the face, and it is going to fall to the ground. Yes, it falls to the ground. But those of you who know something about these creatures, you feel suspicious that may not be everything. And I'll keep us in initiative. Twig, what do you do at this point as you see Reddy take this thing down with this crackling staff?
I see it, yeah, I see it go down. But yeah, I'm suspicious. So I'm gonna bring out my ghost touch. Do I have any advantage because he's down?
Actually, you have disadvantage because he's down, and also it's difficult for you to hit this creature through Vindaris and Reddy.
If I got to a higher position, would I still have disadvantage because he's prone?
Yep.
Okay.
But if you climbed up one of these trees or something, then you could probably overcome the cover. But yeah, it would still be hard to get the chimp.
What if I'm right next to him?
Then you're in melee range, so you would also have disadvantage.
Oh, jeez.
Because it's a
all right.
ranged
well, I'll just
spell
try
attack.
It. Oh yeah, true. All right.
The only thing is that I kind of don't want to give. Essentially, this creature is stunned. I'll say even that it's like moving very slightly. Yeah, I don't know. You've just heard these things don't go down easily, and so it's not actually dead. It's stunned, and therefore you actually would have advantage. So you can make a flat roll, but the 4 would have been your flat roll, unfortunately. So
wait, why do I have a flat roll?
Because you have advantage against it because it's stunned.
But
is it still prone?
Yes.
Is that why I have disadvantage?
So you would have disadvantage because you're making a ranged spell attack, but because it is stunned, you would have advantage, so it cancels it. So it's just a flat roll.
Dang it!
But unfortunately, you still miss it with this ghostly hand. It just flies past it. Okay, Vindaris.
Darius wants to finish off the chimp with his radiant damage to send him back. To bury him. Oh, actually, it should have been.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be the flint spear, would it?
No, that's a flint spear. But I'm thinking, would it be with advantage or plus and the +1? Sorry.
It would be advantage, yeah. But didn't you? I thought you weren't using the flint spear. I thought earlier you changed to the. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought at the beginning of the combat, unless that was a Yao Mei.
No, I was also always using the flint spear.
Oh, okay, sweet. Oh yeah, flint spear. 15
would that be
hits.
Advantage? Oh, 15. Yeah.
Yeah, you can crit fish if you want.
Okay. Let's have a look.
Ooh.
Still a hit.
Damage. No.
But one more point of damage at this point is enough to end it. So what do you do with the spear to end it? Actually, I didn't consider that probably its eyes, the purple in its eyes is still sort of glowing, and that's one of the main ways you would know that it doesn't seem like it's fully dead.
He's going straight through the back of its skull, if it's prone, into the ground, putting out these lights. And
these lights like flicker and then fade to blackness. And maybe you hear it in your mind as well one last time, kind of going like like a mix of like but like dying like Alright. We're out of combat.
Ooh.
Was the? Can we see if the creature was carrying anything in particular on it, or was it just a chimp?
Yeah, you don't find anything as you search its bones. It's not carrying anything.
Was its eyes jewels or something? Like, can I reach in there and grab whatever its eye was?
You reach into its eye sockets and they are just empty. It's a complete mystery to you where this energy was coming from, but there's certainly no jewels.
I'm gonna take the skull.
You're gonna what?
Take the skull.
Alright. How do you remove the skull from the spine?
Vindaris passes.
I mean, I guess it's just a skeleton.
Vindaris passes his spear over to Twig to take the skull off it. After he stepped in the head.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it wouldn't have any like tendons or anything, so I guess the skull. Maybe when it collapsed, when you finally put that spear through its skull, all of its bones kind of collapsed to the ground. So you can easily just pick up this skull.
Oh, good.
Is there any particular markings on the skull? Like, if it was any symbols?
No, you didn't see anything like that.
Okay.
But the only thing is that you definitely, now that you've seen one of these things in person, you can't help but draw a parallel with the humanoid skeleton that also had glowing purple eyes, but was very well dressed, that was on the slave ship. But you're not able to see anything else, otherwise it just kind of looks now, especially that it's dead, like just a pile of bones.
Vindaris is making his way back to his nice cozy spot that he was napping in earlier.
Did you just leave those bones there?
I might take some for my.
Oh, I'm sure Yao Mei will investigate those bones.
Oh yeah. So let me think. What would a Yao Mei learn from these bones? Where is the feature?
Bone appraiser.
I mean, Yao Mei is really only able to tell that these are the bones from this chimp skeleton. I mean, in this world, there are no true simians. So a chimp is not something that you would recognize. Like, you've never seen a creature like this with flesh, like in the flesh. But maybe they've been called like skeleton chimps, or perhaps immortal chimps that roam the jungles. Maybe Vindaris, you would have heard of them, but probably Retty and Twig, you would have heard more stories about them. Like maybe as when you were growing up, you were kind of told like, don't stray into the forest. Like the skeleton chimps will get you. But yeah, otherwise Yao Mei isn't really able to determine much else, just that these bones are from this creature, and perhaps that it seems to have been a skeleton for a very, very long time. Yao Mei can determine that. These bones are like really, really old, like hundreds of years old.
Whoa.
Many hundreds of years old. All right. But otherwise, you're able to climb back under the sail, and so you just leave that pile of bones there. You have heard stories that they can come back.
Ooh.
But you already kind of saw it, like, seem to almost like it was hard to kill. So you don't know if that story refers to like what you saw, or whether it could come back in some other way. Like,
I think we should bury it. Make it dig its way out if it does come back. And on that note, I'll take its finger bones as well.
Did you take all of its finger bones?
Yeah, but just like the ends of them. Like, not the whole I can. I don't like. Yeah. Just the whole end.
Got it like an itch, and they come along.
Like,
They can
comes
scratch
back,
your
yeah.
back.
So it's like disjointed different bones.
I love these things. Oh yes, that's amazing. All right, sweet. You can do that.
Nice.
Make sure you add them to your inventory if you wish to keep them long term. And you can, because the sleep was interrupted, but the combat didn't last very long. We'll say you can resume your long rest. So everyone can take a long rest. And everyone learns. Give me an intelligence check, everyone. With a DC of 18.
That's so high. Oh no.
I'm not that intelligent. And I'll roll for a Yao Mei as well. Alright. Okay, Twig, probably the one that didn't need it. You can learn 2 days worth of languages.
Ooh.
Which I think gets you down to the minimum.
I'm at 10.
Oh no, are you at 10 or 11?
Yeah. 10.
Nice.
Because I learned 2 days, yeah.
Nice. And you were on 12. I thought you were on 13. No. Okay.
Nope.
Nice. So yeah, so for the next 10 days, it can't get lower than 10.
Oh.
10's like the minimum.
Sweet.
But you have 10 more days of learning language until you've learnt in full. I'll have to think of a way to keep track of. Maybe if you can. I don't know. We'll think of something. Does anyone want to try to identify any items?
Yes. I'd like to appraise this amber necklace.
All right. Give me an intelligence check. Okay, amber necklace. So it's gonna be pretty difficult to like appraise something, given that you don't have a good understanding of. I mean, you've seen amber before. Everett Brightwist kind of laid out how the money works in a centus. I'll just say that you're just kind of like, you just have this feeling of like, I reckon I could probably get like 5 gold pieces for this. 5 of these little gold circles for this thing.
Excellent.
I don't want to speak for you. I could imagine you saying that in Twig's voice.
That's a tidy sum.
And Reddy, what are you doing with these beast feathers?
That was an accident. I was just trying to figure out where I got the image from so I can find it for the bones.
Just like fanning them, like,
Yeah.
hey, look at these.
Tickling yourself to stay awake for your watch. All right. Nothing else.
I just did an image of Randy using the hands of the chimp, like if they were animated with the feather to tickle him while he's sleeping.
All right, and so in order to take your full long rest, you have to sleep into the morning somewhat because you had to stay awake for a little while searching for a source of water. So it is now, as you begin to stir, sometime probably in the late morning. And it's still pretty... It's warming up a little bit today. It seems a little bit warmer than it was. But at the same time, there is a bit of a wind passing through these trees. It's a little bit windier than it was yesterday. And you wake up and you can kind of look over and see this pile of bones, minus its the tips of its fingers, is still lying there. Oh no, you buried it. You see this like kind of little mound where you buried this thing. It doesn't appear to have been disturbed or anything. What do you do?
Back up camp. And continue.
Okay. So, following this path, and if you continue, probably if it takes you like maybe, it wouldn't take you very long to pack up, would it? You just got to roll up these bed rolls and
take down the sail.
Take down the sail. So you can probably pack up in like half an hour or something like that and head back to this trail and then continue on. And you don't need to make a survival check or anything because you're just following this trail. But
definitely keeping an eye out as we're moving. Or an ear out.
Alright. So is everyone just being attentive? Does anyone want to do anything else as you're walking?
I guess like look for any strange tracks.
Give me a perception check if you want to look out for tracks. So you can see these like wagon wheel tracks, firstly, which look like they're pretty recent. You also see, as you're kind of looking around, you spot something else that looks like some kind of boot marks or something like that look like they're a little bit older.
Small?
Small.
Rat-like?
Give me a survival check. The best you can do is determine that these are from a small creature, and it's hard for you to even work out like which way they're going or how many of them there are with an 8. So yeah, you're not really sure, but you can tell that it looks like there's been some kind of small creature here at some point prior sometime to the wagon. But otherwise you can continue along it, probably because you're following this path. It's like fairly easy to move. It only probably takes you another hour as you continue through this forest, and you move at one point past this small clearing where there's just these like large boulders just kind of sitting there amongst the trees, a bunch of like smaller rocks and pebbles around them. But otherwise you don't see anything, and you can continue following this trail to the east, and probably takes you another hour, and as you're walking through these trees, you begin to see that some of these trees become more uniform. And you begin to recognize that in this area, it seems like there are a lot of nut-bearing trees. Oak trees and chestnuts and hazelnuts and things. They increase significantly. To the point where it looks like it's almost like you're in some kind of nut-bearing tree orchard. And you also begin to see growing amongst these things, these trees, what appear to be these bushes that you think would probably, they're mostly bare, but you can see maybe evidence of berries sort of lying or scattered on the ground. Maybe sort of seeds and things like that. It looks like these are like berry bushes, but they're just bare because it's winter. And you can see some way further into the forest. It looks like the trees are kind of spread more thinly, and there's this. The trees become kind of regular. You see these almost sort of semi-open fields. And it looks like I had to look into this concept of an agroforest, which is where you would kind of like maybe grow crops in this, like sort of spread the trees out and like grow kind of crops like in between the trees. So it's kind of half forest, half farm, I guess. And you kind of think that, yeah, due to the regularity of it maybe, and some of these sort of smaller these sort of fields among these trees, that maybe crops are grown here. And you can hear the sound as you begin walking through here of water running. And you spot something in the trees some way ahead of you, which looks like some kind of structure that's it's kind of built into this big thick tree somewhere ahead. It looks kind of like a hut of some kind. And you think you can see some sort of silhouette like moving around in this hut, and as you get closer to it, you can see a couple more of these huts sort of built into these trees, like a little bit further in. And you see even further on, as this trail kind of leads towards the sound of this water trickling, that some of these little huts, these tree houses, have like rope bridges and things connecting them. And you also see some of these huts are like kind of taller, sort of further up than the rest and like smaller. And they just kind of like these like oriel windows, like kind of suspended up. Maybe there's like one, it's like the closest one to you, and you can see in there as you get closer what definitely looks like some kind of individual that is like holding a bow, like an arrow and a bow, and is like staring straight at you and aiming this bow at you. What do you do as you like approach this?
And we're walking similar marching order, smallest to tallest.
I mean, you can kind of walk. You don't have to walk like in a line. It's a pretty narrow path, but you could still walk at least like 2 by 2.
Okay. Definitely Vindaris is like shows his open palms.
Yeah, same.
And nods as he sees the figure in the window.
You see this bow and arrow kind of lower slightly or maybe it lowers a fair bit, and then you hear definitely this person standing in this sort of watch hut call out to you in a language that you don't understand. It sort of echoes amongst the trees, and you can tell it's like some kind of question or something like that, or perhaps it has like some, you know, maybe it's a bit of a warning as well, but you don't know what it is.
Darius will say, hello. And still like walk, like slow his pace, but still walk forward. And if that voice becomes more of a threat, he'll stop walking.
As you walk further forward, what are you doing with your weapons and everything?
Oh, they would be... Since we're on watch, we would have... Vindaris would have holstered his spear and put his shields to the side.
Okay. As you walk a little bit closer, you hear this person call out to you again. And it's a little bit more urgent sounding. But again, you can't understand it.
Vindaris will stop at that moment.
Then you see this individual sort of disappear from this kind of window for a second. And from where you are, you can hear like this kind of, maybe some walking around on these like wooden floorboards above. And you hear this calling out again, but more words this time. And then you hear like somebody else calling out from across one of these rope bridges in one of these other structures, these other wooden tree huts, kind of answer, also in a language you can't understand, of course. And then after a moment, you see on a tree that is different from this one that you're kind of just below, where there's this like watch hut, a rope ladder kind of unwinds, like, and you think you see like another one on a tree like further off. And these creatures like scurry down these ladders and quickly like turn around, and there's maybe 3 of them, and they kind of come over to you. And 2 of them are holding spears, and one of them is holding a bow. And it's pretty easy to recognize that these are obviously Ketri, Squirrelfolk. Small squirrel-like humanoids. 2 of them have grey fur, and one of them has like more sort of coppery fur. And they're dressed in like very basic clothes, just tunics and probably hide pants. And they step over to you, and while like one of them that's like holding this bow, it's not like aiming it at you, it's kind of, but it's drawn, and it's kind of like got it, you know, sort of semi-lowered. One of these Ketri steps forward to you, and kind of looks at you like he's got his like chest like stuck out. He's kind of like.
Just imagine how tall they are compared to Vindaris, who's 2.1 meters tall.
Yeah, despite like how much taller you are, he's still kind of like puffing his chest out like.
Hello there, little friend.
Right? Kind of like looks back at these other ones. They kind of talk amongst themselves for a minute. Kind of like waves, like, go away.
Oh, okay.
And these guys actually are probably wearing like some leather armor as well, I would say. But fairly, yeah, like very, very simple looking leather armor.
Do we still have that like plaque from the office.
The
Oh
license.
no, sorry, the license. The
Or,
license.
The
to
bronze
kill.
license.
Yes.
Yep. License to kill.
Hey guys, if we show them this license, maybe they'll realize like we're here on official business. What do you think? Wait, let me try.
Nice. So you are understood by Vindaris as well.
So Vindaris will take up the license to bear arms, bronze, and show the guard, I presume.
Yeah, this guard sort of takes this from you, or reaches up to it and sort of like touches it, doesn't snatch it from you, and then lowers his hand, like sniffs at it, kind of like looks at it curiously, and turns around and sort of like speaks to some of these others that he's with. They kind of like say something back. And they kind of interact a little bit, and one of them is like, and then this one at the front kind of turns around and looks at you all and says, like waves for you to follow.
And nod and follow.
So you can follow them to where one of these rope ladders are, and they climb up. This one climbs up, and these other two kind of stand aside and wait for you to follow before they want to go up.
How big's this rope ladder? is Vindaros? Is his head height the same height as the top of the hut, standing next to it?
No, like it's like fairly far up. But you, I mean, because how high are you? Like 2.1 meters or something?
Yeah.
What it is?
Yeah, 2.1.
Yeah, 2.1 meters. No, I mean it's probably the hut is probably more like 5 meters up, 5 or 6 meters up.
Okay.
This ladder. I mean, you also like know about like making things out of wood. I don't know if, yeah. I mean, I guess it would be pretty easy. I would get you to make a check or anything. You can sort of like sort of test this ladder a bit, and it's like it feels like you're going to be pretty fucking heavy on this thing.
And also keeping an eye on those guards. If I step on it, they're like, like it's gonna break.
These two guards like see you testing it, and they're like, they like stop. They stop you. And they're like, They kind of talk amongst themselves a bit. They're like, they like wave you somewhere else, like further in.
Okay.
We're gonna follow.
That's the follows.
Not letting Vindaris go alone.
You head a little way further into this little treetop village, and you soon see the creek that you could hear before. There's like a small creek kind of running in between these trees, and there are several more of these huts around you, and you kind of come to an area that you think is maybe, it's more clustered here. This is kind of probably like the central area. You don't get the impression that like a lot of people live here, but it's like a modest village. And you see in this area a very, very large tree. And as they kind of wave you over to this tree, you can see that there are kind of cleverly constructed, so that they're not like, I don't know exactly like how these like things are kind of nailed into the tree or sort of tied onto the tree, and then there are these kind of like support beams. It's unclear, but anyway, there appear to be these wooden steps that like spiral up the outside of this like massive tree. It's like a fucking huge tree, like a couple of meters wide at least. And they kind of indicate for you to like walk up these steps.
Yeah, like those California red gums, those.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is more my size. and head up.
All right. So you can head up there, and as you reach the kind of top of these steps, you can see this area more clearly, and you begin to hear kind of chattering and talking, and you can see, like many of these Ketri kind of walking around, and you appear to have come up into this sort of like central area. There's this big like central platform that's like suspended between this tree. It's connected also to like a couple of other trees. And you think this is almost like some sort of like village square, and it's sort of adorned with like wood chimes, and there are like pot plants hanging from some of some kind of wooden structures on the side of this platform, with like flowers and maybe like herbs in them. Maybe a Yao Mei is kind of interested to sort of peek at some of these. Oh no, several of you are herbalists. You all notice that there appear to be a bunch of herbs around here and things. And you can also see several of these Ketri kind of sitting on like nearby platforms out the front of like small huts and things, and they're just kind of doing like various villagey things like weaving baskets and, I don't know, making clay pots and sewing clothing and that sort of thing. And you can also smell the smell of fires burning. There's like you see smoke coming out of like kind of smoke hatches out of these like wooden huts, and sort of drifting up into the branches, and these Ketri lead you through here, and you walk across one of these rope bridges. Vindaris, again, you're like a little bit concerned, but they kind of reassure you that this one's okay, and it sort of creaks and like swings a fair bit as you're walking on it, and they're kind of like a little bit wide-eyed, like oh, like. But you're able to like walk across here and kind of walk around to the side of one of these platforms, and there is a small hut on the side, in the center, really, but just kind of facing a different direction. You kind of walk around this platform, and that you head in through this like leather flap into this like small room, and it's kind of reminiscent of the room that the Minotaur woman, the hut that the Minotaur woman lived in Rockhaven, just in the sense that it is just like cluttered with like herbs and shelves with like various kind of clay pots and containers and vials and things, and it's you can see this kind of central like fire pit in the middle with this like pot bubbling over it, and I guess it would be like a clay pot, and there is a sort of elderly looking Ketri fellow with like a long like white beard sitting in here, like dressed in some kind of plain brown robes, sort of sees you come in, and these guards like interact with this old Ketri, as like several of these other Ketri as in the village as well have kind of like gotten up and put aside what they were doing. They've sort of followed, and they're kind of crowding behind you, like kind of like watching what's going on. And this old Ketri that's like sitting there with no boots on, cross-legged, he pulls out a small box, takes the top of the box, and it's got like a bunch of like soot in it, and he begins like mumbling these words and kind of speaking these reverberating arcane syllables and waving his hands around, and then he like draws on his forehead with like some of this soot. And you've all seen this before. He's casting comprehend languages.
Ooh, I'm gonna do the same. Is he taking 10 minutes to do this?
Yes.
Oh, yes, good. I will also take 10 minutes to do this.
Yeah, I'll say like, yeah, it's fairly extensive, and you kind of stand around and wait, and many of these Ketri are also kind of like ooh, like kind of pointing at him. Maybe he has to kind of get up a little bit at one point and sort of like do some like throw some stuff in this bubbling pot, like. And if you do the same, he will encourage you to join in, and he kind of casts this ritual with you in a way, like you sort of cast a joint ritual together.
Whoa. Whoa.
And then, as the smoke clears, he says, speaks in this very old, raspy, voice, and he's like, "Hello, can you understand me?"
Hello.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Hello, good sir. I guess I'll translate for everyone as well. So I can understand him. He says hello.
hello.
Hello there.
Welcome to Arborshire.
Thank you for letting us come meet you without shooting us.
Well, I've been told that you've got a bronze weapon license. So we thought perhaps you were representing the Suskin.
We've got some orders from them. We heard that you were readying to bend the knee. And
We don't really call it that, but sure.
and yeah, I guess we've also got orders to eliminate some ratfolk that have been causing trouble around here.
Oh, I see. Well, we've been having a lot of problems with these ratfolk ourselves. Actually,
What?
well, a few times they've come in here and stolen our goods, stolen our valuables. But recently they've taken some of our children. Our children!
Oh no, it's terrible.
It's more than terrible. Our chief is beside himself. One of the children is his son, and he's become completely useless as a chief. I thought nobody really blames him, but he's just been inside his hut crying because we don't have the manpower to do anything about it. We've only got about 3 guards. You've already met them. Led by Bram Bickerchest here. Bram Bickerchest is the one that kind of came and like stuck out his chest when he came. He's sort of like,
Vindaris, that's Bram.
Nice to meet you.
Bram.
Big of chest.
Darius. Big of appetite.
He like he's got a lot of pride. He kind of like nods like as if he understands you, even though he obviously doesn't.
we just keep nodding to each other in the background.
They say their chief has lost his son to these rat folks. Yeah, we got to get to them quickly. We got to get to our friends and this chief's son.
And I'll come.
Do they know how many rat folk are around?
Yeah. Yeah, how many rat folk are there?
Oh, lots of them. Probably 20 or so. Maybe more.
Whoa. Are they armed?
Oh yes. Armed to the teeth. That's probably why they are known as the Dreadfuls. You know, they are led by a terrifying beast of a woman named Scara Dreadclaw, apparently.
With the mutated claw.
That's right.
We've
heard of it?
heard of her.
I've never seen her, but
I think she's...
I've heard the tales.
Twig.
What?
Maybe ask him if he knows where they are. if there's a trail.
Yeah,
there
where-
or how far it is as well from here.
Where can we? Yeah. Yeah, what he said.
Well, sure. We've some of the folk of Arborshire have seen these bandits traveling up the Wayward River. It flows from the rocky hills to the northeast, where the Northbrook stream meets the Wayward River at the Cascades, which is a series of waterfalls. But it's difficult to get up there. You'd have to take the river into the cliffs, through the cliffs.
How far is it? Oh?
I was going to say, maybe we can also mark it on AMA's
Yeah.
map.
Yeah. We'll bring out the map.
If I
Like, how far? Where is it?
somewhere around here. And he'll point. Let me see. How do I indicate? It's like he points to. Hold on. Points to here. If you can see that. He's like probably about a day's journey through the forest to the northeast.
Could you spare a guide for us to get there without getting lost?
Oh, we're living in terror that we'll be attacked again by these Ratfolk. We don't have many among us who are good fighters, or even old enough to fight, or young enough. I don't know if we can really spare any of us. I'm sorry. What do you plan to do?
We're gonna get our friends back that they've taken. We're gonna try and find your chief's son and your children's, and we're gonna raise them to the ground.
Yeah. 5 of them. 5 of our children were taken, along with the chiefs.
5.
We recently spoke to a Vulpin merchant who came through here, and we offered. They looked like the fighting types, and we offered them a reward if they could bring back our children. But they said they did not feel they were capable of doing this. But we would offer you the same reward if you could bring our children back to us.
Oh. Wait. Well, now we're talking. What is this reward you speak of?
We would pay you in gemstones.
Oh, gemstones. That sounds like a fair and honorable deal.
We can give you a bag of gemstones worth about 50 gold pieces.
50 gold pieces, guys? How's that sound to you? That sounds...
More than fair.
It sounds reasonable. Reasonable, yes. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Maybe 3 children. Well, 3 children guaranteed. 5. We'll see how we go.
We would...
Only kidding.
I like the way you think, Vindar.
He sees that you're kind of saying something humorous. I see a bit of a humor in this one. I don't know what he's saying, but I like him.
Oh yes, he's very good, very strong.
I can see that. Big as a wheel. I'm not very good at this accent.
If they can't spare a guide, perhaps a map of sorts too.
Yes. Would you have more of a map of how to get there? Is there a trail? Could we?
No,
Yeah.
I'm afraid not. No trail, and we don't really do maps around here.
Okay.
Just do a lot of gardening. We're not fighters, and it's only been in recent times that these Ratfolk have bothered us so much. We're not equipped for it, hence why we're bending the hip, bending the ankle, bending the leg, the old leg.
You gotta be careful. Don't want to hurt yourself.
No, well, you would bend it in the correct way, of course.
Tweak, maybe ask them what do they plan to do with their children and our friends,
Oh, do you?
or where they're headed if they take him somewhere else as well.
Yeah. Do you know where the Ratfolk, what the Ratfolk do with their captives and where they would go?
We suspect that they may be slave traders, which is why our chief Jumble Moss is so distraught. But we don't know, because Ratfolk, they could even eat them. I might seem to be a fairly happy fellow, but inside I'm terrified for the children. I just try to keep up a positive attitude. But you can see here that the people are very, very scared. Kind of indicates. And you see like several of these people, and they're also like maybe, you know, a couple of like obviously like parents and things. Maybe one of them even steps forward and kind of like, you know, cries out, and you can understand them kind of saying like, please, please, save our children.
Yes, of course.
Is
there?
What's their chief's name? So when we see these children, we can let them know that we're here on his behalf as well, or this gentleman's name.
Yes. What are your names? You and your chief.
The chief is called Skirin Jumble Moss. My name is Bracken Cleverpaw.
Excellent names.
I'm the village alchemist.
Are there any alchemy components you guys would want?
So many. There's too many to say at this short junction in time. I'd need to sit down.
Maybe when we return with the children, we could get a list together.
Maybe if you could request some supplies to assist us.
Yeah. Would you have any supplies like water skins or rations to help us along the journey?
He
saw
like
some
kind
beautiful
of
nuts.
points over to this young woman, one of the guards, no, not one of the guards, a young woman that's like standing next to one of these guards, and says, Jiska, go and get some rations and some water skins for these heroes, or to be heroes, we hope. And she scurries off.
Thank you. I feel like Yao Mei would want maybe some white willow bark or some such. Would you have any?
So she's already got. He's already got some white willow bark.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, not that you can't ask for more. Yeah, because Yao Mei is kind of looking out for healing things for the healer's kit. Let me see. What did you need for that?
Yeah, I guess. Would there be anything that Ayame is missing that we could ask for?
Yeah. Let me have a look. Where have I got that information? It's for Hembe and Ivan. Oh yeah, so they need
poppies as well.
Yeah, so they need some kind of anesthesia, so white willow bark or possibly poppies. So you've got that. They need salt, honey, or wine for disinfectant. You've got a fair bit of salt.
Yeah.
They need leaves of the Vusa bush, known to rouse the unconscious when crushed.
Ooh, that seems useful. If we don't have any.
And they need flax for making bandages, but apparently wild strains won't be sufficient. So probably all you need is just the flax and the leaves of the Vusa bush.
Oh, all right. Would you have any domesticated flax or leaves of the Vusa bush?
Oh, yes, I can get that for you. He kind of rummages around in some of these boxes and pots and things, and he comes back and he can give you some Vusa leaves. And Vusa leaves. Let me see. These are like, just like small kind of pale leaves. And he will give you he gives you six bunches of Vusa leaves. We have a few of these stored from the summer.
Thank you.
You're welcome to them.
This is very generous.
And he says, do you say, why do you want the flex?
Why?
Why?
Oh, yes, for bandages, for, in case we get injured, we would need, flax to make bandages.
He says, I can do you one better, and it's hard to do this voice because I'm a bit sick. It's like hurting my throat. He says, I can do you one better and give you some bandages.
Oh,
He rummages around.
wonderful!
And
Thank you.
He'll give you 6 rolled up pieces of cloth bandages.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Is there anything else that we would need, guys?
No, I think that's good. Or I might have caught word of it earlier. Even if they could allow a part guide half the way there, and then they can turn back and just point us in the right direction. No need to fight, but just make sure we're on the right journey.
Yeah. Is there any way of a partway guide?
I think that sounds reasonable. Bram, would you be able to guide these folk some way into the forest? They're going to help rescue the children. The least we can do is point them in the right direction. Bram is like, "Oh, of course. I'll take him through the forest to the northeast."
Thank you.
And as he's saying this, Chiska returns. And she hands you a couple of water skins. She can give you, in total, they've probably got like a few water skins.
You only need 3, I think.
She gives you 4 water skins.
Oh, cool.
And she will also give you, let me see. They can kind of give you a few omnivore rations. They give you 7 omnivore rations.
What's an omnivore ration? Only omnivores can eat them?
So an omnivore ration is, it can, how does it work? I think these are the ones where, yeah, so if you're a carnivore or a herbivore, an omnivore ration only counts for half a ration.
I see.
I don't know how much it makes sense, really. I'm trying to think. This was something I kind of created in the beginning.
What you just described kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm also just thinking, like, what actually is this thing? Is it a muesli bar?
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
like a... No, it's a beautiful, like, nut and
With the smoky
jerky.
meat flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a sort of a mix in like a little pouch. All right.
Trail mix with some beef jerky in it.
Gotta pick out the jerky bits.
I don't know if I like it. It's a bit silly now that I'm actually going to use it. We'll do it for now. I'll give you some omnivore rations.
Maybe Reti should take them because you are omnivore, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll put them in Reddy's inventory.
I'll take one of the water skins.
They got us 4.
They gave us 4, yeah.
Perfect. One for
One for Yao Mei.
yeah, one for Yao Mei, one for Yao Mei, one for Windows, one for you, and one for the harder liquor.
All right, I've given a Yao Mei one. Can everyone else? Is everyone else able to give themselves one, or do you need one?
Sure.
Oh, good.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right, cool.
I'll take the extra again, I guess.
Gotta keep hydrated. Especially.
I was like, pour one over myself.
Everybody we lost along the way.
I'm gonna silence.
All right. And so it's now probably... How much did we travel today? I mean, I wasn't keeping track. We were traveling along this
like
road. Oh, yeah, you were like
2
here.
hours, maybe?
We started late. We slept in.
Yeah, and I think you've traveled for 2 hours. And yeah, you slept in until like 10, 30. Yeah, okay. So you've probably been here for maybe like an hour. So it's like sometime after midday. Do you want to do anything else while you're here?
Drink water and refill water skins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can
Yes.
easily do that by the creek.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a problem. They can sort of... They would also have like barrels of water, or, you know, various pots and things full of water, so they can give you some water. Anything else?
No.
All right.
Ready to head out.
Wait, mage armor.
Okay. So you cast Mage Armor, and you follow Bram Bickerchest into the forest to the east. And let's take a 5-minute break.
Oh, thanks.
Nice.
So, you follow this Ketri Squirrelfolk guard, Bram Bickerchest, into the forest to the east. And I'm going to say that because you have a guide, you can move like a little bit faster than you usually would. So you travel maybe another hour and a half in this direction towards the east. And you can't understand him anymore, Twig. Good.
Maybe we just pop out at our chests in unison.
You develop a
To
kind
bond.
of chesty rapport. And I really don't want there to be a random encounter, so we can like actually get to this place. So I haven't rolled one so far, but no one was looking out for anything. I really didn't give you much of an opportunity though. But as you're coming along, as you're following him along, like through these dead trees and things, with the occasional green tree, you actually randomly come across, he kind of like points at something which looks like something has been buried. For a moment you're almost like, wait, have we come back to where we killed that thing? But you see what looks like some kind of like burial mound in the dirt where some creature, something you don't know has been, or you don't know what it is, but you can see like maybe like a piece of cloth or something like that that's kind of sticking out. It's like been hastily buried, and the earth there is still kind of like piled up over whatever this thing is. And then, yeah, there's a little piece of like fabric kind of sticking out of it. And it's sort of just underneath this big tree. He kind of like points at it and just sort of mumbles something. And sort of stops for a moment and looks at it.
Can I go and have a look to see what it is? Kind of uncover the fabric a little bit?
Yeah, so you can kind of pull some of this fabric out.
What is...
But as you pull on it, it kind of pulls what you think is like some kind of woven fabric, like maybe it was like a piece of clothing or something like that. It's a bit hard to tell. It's very sort of dirtied and dark, and you kind of pull on it, and you can pull it some way out, but then it kind of stops giving. You're unable to pull it all the way out.
Is Bram doing anything else?
He's just kind of like looking around like a little bit anxiously and like watching you do this.
Can I dig? See what it is?
How do you dig?
I have my hands.
So you just kind of dig at it with your hands?
Yeah. Or maybe I can sort of use my buckler to sort of lever the dirt.
Okay. You can dig some way into the ground here, and then after a little bit of... Does anyone help you? Or you just...
Yeah,
Okay.
with my staff.
Ooh. You have my staff.
And Brindar's chest will be out. Right, like as well. Keeping guard. Cheers out.
All right. So as you're watching, keep an eye out. Twig and Ready, you kind of dig down a little bit, and it's obviously a shallow grave, as this fabric looks like some kind of cape or cloak or something like that that is wrapped around a half-rotten body. You kind of come to like its chest, and it is wearing some leather armor. And you kind of hit the leather armor. It looks like it hasn't been buried for long. Maybe you don't know how long, like a week or something. Less than a week.
Does it look like a Ketri?
It's hard to tell unless you really sort of uncover it more.
Okay.
I think Yao Mei would also, if you said there was like sore bones or smell, he'll be all over it.
Yeah. Okay, so a Yao Mei can... Well, I don't think this thing... Would there be any bone exposed? It's still kind of like rotting, half-rotten.
We can expose some.
Yeah, you might have to expose some.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. I'll use my dagger to...
Is Bram reacting while we do this? Just
He
looking
is
around?
like, kind of like... He looks concerned and confused, and he's also sort of nervous, like looking around. He's like, yeah. Like he thinks like he shouldn't linger for too long.
All right. We'll make it quick. It's just a little bit of just.
Okay, so instead of parting more of the soil, you use a dagger to cut some of the flesh on this creature and expose the bone, and Yao Mei is able to kind of have a sniff at it and a peek at it, and comes to the conclusion that... I'm trying to think if... There would not be a creature like this in where you're from. Yao Mei is not sure what this is. Some kind of sentient humanoid.
It's not a Ketri.
No, not a Ketri.
Can I keep digging?
Yeah, you can uncover it further.
Ready? You want this armor? It seems usable.
Oh no! I've got my shell. Seems to serve me well.
Okay. Vendaris? Okay. Makes sense.
Yao Mei has hide armor. And I can't remember if... Is leather armor... Hide armor is like medium armor, isn't it? So I think it might be actually better. Let me just double check. Yeah. Wait, where was that? Hide 12 plus dex, leather is 11 plus dex. Except that hide has max 2. So I guess it depends on your dex. At the moment it might not be that useful, but it's up to you if you want to pull it off this creature. This creature has like brown... As you uncover it further, you see that it has this long tail and this brown fur that's like partly rotten away.
I think we'd take the armor.
All right, let's take the armor.
I'll carry it for you, Yao Mei.
Nice.
I say to Twig, because I can't understand you.
Yao Mei, he's gonna carry it for you.
Bram looks at this thing actually and points at it and says, Rue.
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 But as you're pulling this padded armor off, you also see something around the neck of this creature.
Ooh! What's that?
It is. Let me see. It is. It is a... No, wait, hold on. It is probably just this. It has a chain around its neck. That you think, well, I guess this would be like a leather chain, and it has like a small black smooth rock on the end of it that has like been pierced somehow with a small hole, and it's strung onto this necklace. And it looks somewhat valuable.
I'd like to take it.
Okay. You can pretty easily pull this necklace off.
Now, I know what they say about disturbing the dead, but I've never been one for following rules, even though I did bury the dead a lot. Meh.
Give me an intelligence check to see if Vindaros can understand this as well.
Ooh.
Nice. You can understand.
I trust each week.
Oh, good. Someone does.
Roo.
Roo.
Roo. And this thing outside of the game, it looks like kangaroo folk.
Ooh.
But otherwise, it's like dressed in like you know, like kind of half rotten pants, and it's got like a tunic on and stuff like that. Do you do anything else?
I think no. I don't want anything else. Do you guys want anything else? I'm gonna put the shroud back, bury it up.
All right. And as you continue on, Bram is kind of shaking his head, like, "Ah." He doesn't look too happy that you disturbed the grave of this random Roo folk. But otherwise, you can continue on, and it takes you probably another hour.
So can I ask, quickly on
Yep.
that? It's kind of a meta question. That leather armor, is there a way to like quickly add that, or do I just add like create a new item called leather armor?
Oh yeah, sorry. If you, I'll put it in your inventory. Leather.
I guess in general, like, is there a way to like search for
No,
items? No. Okay.
no. But there, it should be in your inventory now.
Thank you.
Nice. Oh yeah, so how does your shell work again? Like, will that do anything for you?
No.
No.
No, well, not. I think I have 17 AC, just flat. I'm not sure if I can put armor on. I think so. But I think it'd just be worse at this point.
Where is the... Oh, shell. There we go. Oh yeah, base AC of 17, which isn't affected by your dex mod. And you're unable to wear armor.
Unable. There you go.
You can use a shield as normal. Cool. Alright, so you continue in this direction, and soon you can hear the sound of running water. Bram leads you towards the sound of this water. And soon you kind of part through some of these dead trees and things, and you come to a river, like relatively big. It's bigger than any river that you've seen so far on your adventures in Ascentus. I don't know. It would be like maybe like 8 meters wide or something like that. Yeah, like something around there, 6 to 8 meters wide. And it is running towards the sort of in a kind of a southern direction. And when you reach this river, he turns towards the sort of northeast and begins leading you that way, kind of beckons for you to follow in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can spend another hour traveling up this way. So what's that? Kind of like lost count. I think we're at like 6.
2, 3, 4, 5.
5? Is it 5?
Well, okay, 2 hours to get to the Ketri village, an hour in the Ketri village, then an hour for the hex we're just in, an hour now.
So it was how long to get to Arborshire? Like
I thought it was like 2.
It would have been 4 because you camped. I think it would have been 4 from where you you slept. Oh, unless I'm wrong. I can't really remember. Well, we'll say it's 2, and so then 3, 4, 5. So yeah, okay, 5 hours. Okay. And let me just see. All right. As you're coming through here, you also see you just see like this large eagle, this large bird of prey with dark brown plumage, this big wingspan, just kind of like, and kind of like lands high up in one of these skeletal trees nearby, and just kind of like watches you as you like walk past. But otherwise you don't see anything else, and you can continue on as the river sort of leads further to the northeast. And soon the environment starts to become pretty rocky, and the terrain is getting like much steeper as you're sort of heading into a pretty rocky hilly region, and you can see various outcrops kind of popping up around you, outcropping up as you walk in this direction. And the river soon meets... Let me see how this works. Because I guess actually... Yeah, the river soon... These kind of hills rise on either side of this river, and Bram like kind of motions for you to like slow down, and he's like shh. And you kind of move some way away from the river as you're heading towards this direction, and he's like leading you through the trees, and then he kind of stops, and he points to where the river is like kind of coming out of between two. It's another sort of canyon, and the river is just going directly in between these two like rocky cliffs, and there's like fairly steep like cliffs all around, and it's difficult for you to continue. And as he kind of leads you in here and like stops, you can hear some chattering. and it's coming from this river. And as he kind of like squats down and like motions for you all to hide, you watch as it's getting like pretty late in the day, so it's getting dim, but you see torchlight on the water, and you can hear the sound of oars as these two what look like canoes full of humanoid creatures come down river from between these two cliffs and beach on the side, and begin all of these humanoids begin getting out of these canoes, and they're kind of like talking fairly loudly, like they're not concerned that there would be anyone nearby or anything like that. What do you do?
So how far is this drop from this cliff?
What do you mean drop? Did I say decline or incline or something like that again?
Oh no, sorry. I think maybe I'm picturing it funny. Is it I thought the river was between like two cliffs or something.
Yeah, so the river basically goes between these two like steep, rocky kind of outcroppings that rise above you.
Oh, so okay.
So
I thought
you're
we were at the top.
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah. So you're below, and the river kind of goes. You sort of reach a point where you can't follow the river because it goes into this canyon.
And the boat's banked on our side of the river?
Yes. And you're just kind of crouching there in the trees, in the gloom. It's somewhere. It's probably like the equivalent of like 6 p.m.
How far would we say that these boats are away from us?
Maybe like 10 meters or something like that.
Oh, 10 meters, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, you're pretty close. You're
Close.
just like kind of crouching down, like watching.
Yeah.
Where are they going?
I might, if we're close enough to Bram, tap him on the shoulder and like point towards them.
He's like, he begins like moving back a bit. He clearly doesn't want to fight, and you can see that there's a lot of these creatures. You can see, because especially they're like holding torches as it's getting. Maybe a couple of them are holding. There's still like a little bit of light, but a couple of them are holding torches, and you can see that these are indeed Ratfolk. And they're making a big commotion, kind of laughing, jumping around and stuff as they're getting out of these boats.
Where are they heading? Or are they just standing there on the banks?
They're still just standing there talking at the moment.
Can we make out like how many torches there are? A rough guess of how many?
There's only probably 2 torches, but you can see in the torchlight that there's a lot more of them, of these Ratfolk. Like, you feel probably too many for you to take on, I would say.
And how far away are they from their, I would say, canoes?
They're standing like amongst them.
Right next to him. Okay. Okay.
Well, maybe we should see what they're gonna do. This seems to be too many to like actually fight them.
Give me a stealth check as well. Actually, you know what? Don't give me a stealth check. I'm going to say you're whispering. They're kind of carrying on. They're not paying attention. But Bram is definitely like.
Yeah, can we just keep watching them?
Yeah, you can just kind of wait and watch for a little while. Maybe I'll, think we need, like, some better music.
stealthy rap music.
All right. As it's kind of getting darker, some of the birds stop making noise. And so you wait and watch, and you don't have to wait for very long before the majority of this host of Ratfolk begins to head away from you to the west into the forest. And there remain probably only a couple. You can see, how much can you see through these trees? I'm trying to think. You can hear that it's much quieter now. There's only, you see like a couple silhouettes kind of moving about and talking around these canoes. And you kind of see the other torches sort of disappear to the west as the rest of them kind of head off somewhere, perhaps to go and do some pillaging or some banditry somewhere.
It's our time.
Was that to Bron?
Oh no, I was just meant to say you lead.
We might look at Bron and just bow and
I might give him a
thank you.
gold piece.
He's like, as you hand him this gold piece, he's like, wait. He like readies his spear. He's like he's like
My man.
Okay.
He's one of us. Mercenary.
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, he refuses to take the coin.
Thank you, Bron. Okay.
What do you do?
How long ago did the other host sort of move off?
Now they're some way away, and but you can hear that these remaining characters are sort of. You can hear the sounds of boots on some kind of wood, and you think they're kind of getting back in the canoes.
Definitely stealthing forwards, and you might see Vindaris break off to the side as well, not to be bunched together. And I'm sure AMA will be doing the same. Then heading towards the canoes.
Give me a stealth check. And so is the intent to attack them, or are you just sort of, what's the intent? Wait for them to leave or attack them, I guess, are the options, or?
I would say attack them quickly and quietly to minimize any noise they're making.
Okay.
That's
Anyone who's moving towards them and being stealthy, give me a stealth check.
Should I roll for AMA as well?
We'll just assume he passes. then these guys, they don't, as I said, seem to be too worried, so I'm just going to use their passive perception. Alright.
Oh no.
Yeah, ready, you step on Twig, and not on some twigs, but actually on Twig's foot. And Twig, as you try not to cry out and kind of take a step back, you step on a pile of branches and things. Even though until Reddy stepped on your foot, you were being like very, very stealthy.
My greatest nemesis, pile of branches.
And you hear this coming from these ratfolk on the boats, as one of them kind of holds out the torch to try to sort of peer into the gloom, into the trees, and the other one like appears to sort of, well, actually there are, as you get close you can see there are 3 of them. And this one's holding out this torch, and these other 2 are kind of getting back in the canoes and getting the oars. What do you do?
If that's the case, Vindaris will not Egon encourage AMA to charge the canoe to stop it.
Alright, so if you charge in, I'll move all this stuff. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. So this river is, well, where are you? You're like, I'll just move you here. And this river is kind of headed up. Oh. It's kind of like going up here. And there are these kind of canyon, rocky, these sort of rocky cliff faces like this. Yeah, kind of like... yeah,
3D!
Something like that.
Whoa.
And do some lovely trees again.
Which way did the Ratfolk come from?
The up river. So the river is running down to the southwest, and I guess you probably couldn't be exactly here. You would need to be maybe more like around here. And so then there are these canoes. Actually, I'll add a canoe. I'll add 2 canoes.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What a great drawing.
Just something you sketched up.
They even have like particle-like effects.
Yeah. Particle?
I don't know what the word is, but like they disturb the water around them.
Like a ripple.
Oh, yeah.
Ripple.
Like a little ripple.
I guess they would be like this way, kind of beached up a bit.
So this is up river.
Yep.
Here? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And these trees, a few more of them. And so you saw the Ratfolk kind of head in this direction, like out here somewhere, as you're kind of in here, yeah, like sort of hiding somewhere around here. And I will add one of these Ketri for Bram.
Oh.
And he's got a spear. Got a spear, and he's got like a longbow strapped to his back. Alright. So there are two of these Ratfolk that are like standing on these canoes, and one of them that's like standing here kind of, and it's like holding a torch. Torch. Okay. So they've heard you coming, so they're not surprised or anything.
Damn it.
Can I place myself in AMA where I think that we would be?
Yeah, let me give you more. Well, yeah, put yourself where you think you would be approximately.
Because we'll think about.
Yeah, you were kind of spreading out a bit.
In.
Yep. All right. So let's roll for initiative. And who wants to control Bram?
Can take Bram.
All right. Give you control of Bram. Okay, should be able to move him now. All right. Okay, this Ratfolk up here pulls a bronze short sword. Actually, no. Forget that. Pulls a short bow off of his shoulder and notches an arrow. And he's going to leap off this canoe and move over to here. It's kind of hard to... Yeah, maybe he'll move over like this. And he's going to take aim at Vindaros.
Would we, if Vindaros and AMA weren't detected, would they still know we're there?
Now that they're alert to the whole group and you're kind of coming through, yeah, I mean, you are, it's getting pretty dark. I think because you're like running at them and, you know, you've got weapons drawn, you're going to attack them, like, it's kind of like you're, you know, everything's happening at once, right? Yeah. So they're reacting just slightly, this guy's slightly quicker as he sees you like coming out of the trees towards him.
Okay, cool.
So he is dressed in leather armor and he's carrying a small buckler, but he kind of puts it down on the ground, and actually the buckler would kind of just be on his hand, so I think he should be okay to do this. And he's going to notch this arrow and fire this short bow at you. But he misses. Okay, Twig.
Twig is going to... oh, sorry. I'm on here. All right, come here and cast Mind Sliver on that guy who just fired.
Okay.
I think this should make him 12 meters away. Yep. Oh, yes, good.
Nice, he fails.
All right, and he gets damage.
Reminds me. Yeah,
and he also has subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw.
Okay. He's like, ah! And I think I've got a Mind Sliver. All right.
Nice.
Anything else?
No. Well, maybe Twig will shout out, maybe leave one alive. Or, to get to their hidey hole. Oh, all right.
Give me an intelligence check.
Yeah.
Just to see if Vindaros understands you. Nice. Vindaros understands you. Understands you. Although Bram does not. Okay, Vindaris.
Vindaris will like to make his way forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you take cover behind that tree as well?
You can't move
sorry.
through that tree, is the only thing.
Sorry, I actually counted it on the.
3, so 4, 5. Oh yeah, there. That's fine.
So there you go. So when I moved, I just went the quickest path, not the waypoints. Like I was,
true. Okay.
And
You can.
back to the tree.
Oh yeah, you can add
wants to-
waypoints with the. Anyway. Yes.
Yeah, he will.
Do you want to actually? Are you actually trying to? Well, you can't really hide, I guess.
Oh no,
you're
I'm
just
just using the
standing
tree
behind it.
there,
Okay.
standing behind it, and using his I forgot the name of it. His Catastros, I believe it is.
Oh yeah, Kestros.
Is that
Kestros.
the? To
Yep.
fire back at that one there.
All right.
Okay.
So you'll need to like put your spear down to do that.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, give me a second. Sorry, I would, if you don't mind. Can I change that?
Yeah, that's
Instead
right.
of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into that position.
Okay. And this Ratfolk looks pretty shocked and concerned as you just charged, stomping out of here, just this big Macedonian carrying this spear. And this one with the torch is going to drop the torch. And he is going to run around here and try to support his friend. He's going to flank you. Wait a minute. Let me just do that move again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, 5 meters. Why is it giving me? Should be fine. Oh no, yeah, that's 6 meters. I don't know why it's making it yellow. Anyway, he's going to run around here so that you're flanked. And he draws his bronze short sword as he runs around behind you. And he is going to attack you. He has advantage on this attack because he has pack tactics.
Whoa.
And he also has a +1 because you're flanked. Oh shit, I didn't even do it with advantage. Okay. Hits you for 4 piercing.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Bram.
I think Bram's going to dash over. Let's check this actually. Bram might just stop here actually.
All right.
Any? Would you say that a canoe is unstable ground?
Why? What does he want to do?
Jump in a canoe, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it would be... He can jump in the ground. It's just like probably difficult terrain, and he'd need to... I don't know, if he wants to actually jump into it, maybe it would take... Maybe it'd be difficult terrain to jump into it.
A lot of exertion. I think Bram's happy to just stay here for now.
Okay. He probably can't move like that. He'd need to move around that tree.
Okay.
Oh, he moved from down there, did he?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say, like, I don't think he could probably stand in those 2 squares.
he's just going to go all the way then to these guys.
Okay.
He'll try and jump in the canoe. that an action? Does that require?
No,
'Cause he's
probably,
already
it's
used
probably
it to
just difficult
dash.
terrain. I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be too hard to do that.
Can he? Oh, actually, that is okay.
Yeah, so he's in there with this other guy's like standing there as
Oh,
well.
is he in the canoe?
Yep. Oh no, he I think I did picture him as being in the canoe, but he's still in that square there.
Can I reach him from here, or is that like too far?
Like from outside the canoe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll stop there then. In that case.
Although I'd probably say that he'd be elevated. No, because he's not on stable ground. Forget that. I don't think that would work. You can reach him.
Okay, cool. We'll stop there.
Okay. All right. Ready.
Reddy's just gonna dash over as well. He's not gonna get as far, so maybe not. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that a meter? Why? I think actually he's going to cast Ghost Touch on this one.
Okay. That's a hit. All right.
Yeah, we'll do the Shillelagh's one. Oh no, he's holding too much stuff. No.
What is
Sorry.
it?
I don't know, he doesn't have enough hands.
Why? What's he holding?
His staff and shield. I think he won't cast the spell then.
He's got to also
and
have like a
shield.
hand free to reach into his component pouch as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to cast Ghost Touch. I don't think he has the
Okay.
limbs for it. So he's just going to keep running.
You gotta train your feet ready.
Fuck this. That's it. Sorry.
That's all right. Okay. All right, this guy up here, he's been attacked by Vindaros, but then Bram has come up behind him. He's not sure what to do, so he's going to attack Bram. He kind of like turns around as he hears this Ketri run up behind him, and kind of nervously, hurriedly draws his short sword and tries to swing at Bram. And looks like he hits. For 3 slashing, 3 piercing. Then he is going to jump from this boat, and he moves very quickly so that you're unable to respond quickly enough to take an opportunity attack because he's rather crafty.
Whoa.
So 1, 2, 3. And he's just going to move over to here, just so he's kind of like next to his ally. Okay, Yao Mei.
Yao Mei will like to move. It's 4, 5, 6, and then dash. So into there, and there.
All right.
And
Oh, sorry.
yep, no, it's okay. It's slightly changed. That's all good. End turn.
Okay, cool. So this Ratfolk up here is going to. He's gonna drop his bow and he's gonna pull out his short sword, and he's gonna charge in, and he's gonna attack Yao Mei. And he'll have advantage due to the pack tactics. Hits for 17. and does 6 piercing. Twig.
Twig is going to, from his vantage point, and ghost touch this guy who has Mind Sliver. Oh,
Misses.
nerds. Okay. Well,
Also, I think the
Enter.
Mind Sliver would... Oh, it doesn't matter. The ghost touches in a save.
oh, yeah, true.
End turn?
Yeah, in turn.
Vindaros.
Okay, Vindaris would like to move one square across. Just kidding. Sorry. I was just trying to work out why I can't move one square across. Sorry, I'm not sure why I can't select my
Are you
character.
grabbing the boat? Is it possible that that's happening? Let me see if I can... Does that make it easier?
Ah, that's okay. Just use the arrows keys.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Just moving the one across and attacking. I'll say that one there
All
with
right.
your spear. Actually, sorry, just to have a quick. I might use Hunter's Mark as a bonus action first.
On that one?
Yeah, on that one there.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Sorry, I just have to find my spell. Just go. Plus 1d6. Okay.
Miss.
Okay. End turn. Thanks.
Okay. This one is going to skitter down here and jump up on the canoe again, and he's going to attack you now with pack tactics and the +1 again. Vindaros. But misses. And he's then going to run back over here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, I said. 4. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, he'll just run to here. Okay, Bram.
Bram will see his opportunity and I think jump up on the canoe and thrust down this puny Ratfolk.
Sticks out his chest. As he jumps up here like a swashbuckler with his spear waving around.
You can see the hate within their eyes. That
Versatile. I guess I'll use it with 2 hands. He doesn't have a shield, does he?
Yeah,
Wait, is that?
No, he doesn't have a shield, so yeah, you can use versatile.
I don't know which one to click, but let's try this one. No. Yeah, that's the one. Wait, no, I'm doing damage, sorry.
Oh yeah, just normal attack. Hit.
Does
And
it do
then
8
for
damage?
8.
Do I'm gonna roll again.
8's good. He jumps up and just stabs him in the side as this guy's like trying to attack Vindaros, and this Ratfolk is now looking bloodied. As he's like,
Get him, Bram.
blood is like gushing out his side.
Yeah.
Ready. I think we'll move around to here and attack the one in the middle.
That's a hit. Uh, 11 with the shillelagh. All right. You take this one down.
Whoa.
As you just like smash it in the back with this crackling staff. Okay. Oh, sorry, were you going to move?
No.
Okay, sweet. This one sees you do that, and it's just going to take a step back, but it's still going to target Vindaros, actually. Because it is bolstered by its ally this way. It knows it has pack tactics. Tactics. It misses anyway, despite its pack tactics. Yao Mei.
Yao Mei
Am I the only one that
will
struggles to
like
say pack tactics?
to move one. Into that position.
I kind of want to introduce a rule where it's like difficult terrain to run on a corpse. Because I won't do it now, but I just like the idea that it sort of like adds like complexity to the battlefield.
Get your foot stuck in there.
Yeah.
Chest cavity. And then attack with his bronze sword.
Nice. With flanking.
+1.
Miss.
And also like to use one of his features. Sorry, I'll get back with the superiority dice.
Okay.
And it was called the one that bolsters your ally. What's that called? Here we go. Rally. Oh, actually, on your turn you can use a bonus action. Experiment. Okay, so he'll like to choose Bram.
Okay.
Equal to superiority die plus your
Temporary hit
charisma.
points. Oh yeah, just hit other formula. It should do it for you.
Okay.
Nice. So 6 temporary hit points. I'll put that in Bram's character sheet. Okay.
And turn.
Twig. Hiding behind the tree.
Something happening out there? Alright, here we go. Gonna come here and he's gonna cast. Does one of them look injured?
The one to this one, well, it's pretty hard for you to see from where you are, but yeah, you from watching from behind the trees, you think the one to the south is looking bloodied.
Alright.
Alright.
Looking bloodied, you say? Well, let the dice fall where they may.
Nice.
Oh dear. So I think this is I think Versatile should give me the D10.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
But only 4.
That's okay.
As you sort of use your skills to arc these kind of like sound waves like around Vindaros. Kind of like, yeah, like travels through the air and kind of comes around. It has some spin on it somehow. It kind of like knocks this Ratfolk almost into its companion to its right. And it's looking pretty dazed and confused, but it's still standing. Vindaros.
And
As it stays and confused, he's got this like this energy flowing behind him. Use his spear to follow through and attack that one there. Also, as a bonus action, moving his hunter's mark onto that target as well.
Nice. Onto the one that he's attacking?
Yes, onto the one he's attacking.
Okay. You kill it immediately. As it's like struggling to kind of like shake its head and gather its bearings, you just put its life out. Put the lights out.
And just some movement as well onto the canoe. On the bow, just looking down at the last one.
Nice.
ooh.
Bram.
Bram's gonna jump off the canoe, avoiding the corpse. He's probably just gonna spear without regard for how much health they may have.
And he'll get +1. Doesn't matter though, he still misses.
Right, that's it, Bram.
Okay, ready.
Ready will, I think, drop his shield. No, sorry, drop his and just attempt to grapple this guy.
All right. Give me a strength check or athletics check. And this guy will try to wriggle out of your grasp.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Pretty slippery. He's like,
That's it, ready.
okay. This guy is going to run away. And he can do that without you. You're not able to stop him.
Oh.
And so he's able to get to
how's-
there. He dashes to there.
Oh my goodness.
I think I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Maybe, I don't know if I did do that right. We'll put him there. Okay, Yao Mei.
Get him.
Slightly slightly changed on the spot, not knowing Yao Mei. Yao Mei, he definitely knows himself. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's gonna dash
Okay.
to the creature.
Yep.
He's gonna action surge.
Nice.
Ooh.
Tara's gonna hate this invisible stuff. and now he wants to grapple the creature.
Okay. He's gonna try to squirm out of your grasp. So give me an athletics check. A little bit easier this time. As Yao Mei sort of runs up here and tries to grab him from the side, sort of tackle him. You get him.
Oh, actually, because that was an action surge, he still has movement
Ooh.
with the grapple. So he will shuffle back.
Does he?
Because he's an
I thought
action
you-
surge. Because we dashed and then action surge. So
Wait,
you get your whole set.
Didn't you use action surge? Wait, when did you use it? Oh, you've slept since then, haven't you? Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
You can only take one additional action. I don't think I understand what you mean.
Oh, you can't move as well?
It just says on your turn you can take one additional action.
Oh, okay. I thought there was movement in there as well.
No.
That's fine.
But you have him grappled. Wherever the bloody grappled thing is. There we go. Okay. Twig.
Okay. Twig. How far can I go? Oh. Maybe just here. Do you have any rope ready? I think it's grappled.
All I have is some rags we could maybe tie his hands with, but nothing to tie him down.
If you want to talk normally, I can end combat. If nobody wants to fight or do anything like that.
Yeah.
Probably at this point.
Yeah.
You've got him grappled. He's trying to squirm out of Yao Mei's grasp. But yeah, you can move freely.
Okay. Grapple pylon.
Stacks on.
Like trying to like squirm loose.
Can I
I mean, actually, he could like continue to fight. He could attack you. I'll say that he's unable to. Seeing as there's only one of him, it's fine.
Definitely
like, kinda
disarming
holding-
him,
yeah,
taking his weapons.
Yeah, you can do that.
Weak.
Yeah. Do you have any... Oh, do you have any rope? Oh, yeah, true. That's true. I might, good one.
So are you going to cast it as a ritual?
Oh, yes, I should. Can I cast it as a ritual?
Yeah, so it will make a little bit of noise, but there's been like a fair bit of
Yeah, I've been casting
shouting
spells.
and jumping around, yeah, spell casting already, and you don't hear anything else in the forest at the moment, so yeah. I mean, it'll take you, I mean, that only took like not even a minute, I guess, that combat. So this will take you 10 minutes.
I think Reddy will just keep his eyes out.
Right.
And
Sweet.
if Vindaris and Yao Mei and the rest, while Twig's doing that, just even make our way back to the boat with the Ratfolk, so we're closer to the boats.
Oh yeah, okay. You want to like drag him back?
Yeah.
Okay, you can do that. Drag him back here. I'll put your Yao Mei here.
Oh,
Put next to the
shit.
corpse.
sorry.
Oh. Sorry, I'll leave the control of a Yao Mei to you. And you can kind of hold him there while Twig completes this ritual. And Bram kind of comes up here and like lays the boot in. And like whacks him over the head with his spear as well. Like he's obviously like pissed off. You can hear him like cursing. Whatever he's saying, it's like obvious that he's like swearing at this Ratfolk.
So, I can understand the Ratfolk, but he can't understand me. Okay. I might I'd grab him by his collar,
Okay.
give him a bit of a hit upside the head, like, and then sort of motion towards the boat and be motion towards upriver where they came from. Like, where?
What are you on about, you stupid, weird little... What? Let me go! Let me go!
No. Yeah, what's Vindara saying?
You just slap at him.
Weak. Give him the word.
Stop
I'll
that!
slap him.
Yeah, like, point towards Vindara, feel like, he's gonna slap you.
What? What do you want? Who are you, you fucking freaks?
He's insulting us.
Bram is also like, yeah. I mean, he is pissed off about the kidnapping of their children, so he is definitely laying the boot in multiple times. And eventually, after everyone but Reddy, I guess, like beats the crap out of this guy. Well, I don't know what Yao Mei is doing. He's like, he's kind of just like capitulating.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. Maybe we'll bring out the map and show it to him. And be like, point to him and point to the map. Like, where are you from? Where's your home?
He points at the map, and when you look down at the map, he's like, "Ah!" Gives you the finger.
Can Vidaris grab it and break his finger?
Oh! He cries out in pain.
Yeah.
All right. What?
He's like kind of trying to like clutch his broken finger.
What?
Map.
He just like points up the river.
Hurry!
Alright.
Vidaris goes to grab his other finger as well as he put. No, he doesn't grab
Alright. Maybe we should get him to lead us on this boat. What do you guys think?
Ready, we'll call out. Did you figure out where the others were headed?
Yeah, no. Let's see what he says. But I'll point to the direction where the other Ratfolk headed and ask and be like,
Give me a performance check. Okay. He's like,
What? The rest of them? They went on a raid. They'll be back any minute now. Probably nearly back.
I'll,
I wouldn't hang around if I were you.
I'll just sort of dust my knuckles a bit, like kind of like no big deal. Like I point towards Bram, like to like this village, like I don't know.
like on the map, you mean?
Oh yeah, maybe I can point on the map where the Ketri village, like Ketri village is.
He's like,
No, to the west, Smallguns Road. I mean, well, they're just scouting the area, and then they'll be right back. Fuck.
I'll tell Reti and Vidaros.
Okay. I think. Oh,
sweet.
I think we better go. Let's loot these corpses, get rid of them, even throw them, just let them loose downstream.
Loose, yes.
So they can float down the river
Okay, you can do that.
after looting them. And we should get out of here. Take the canoes.
Okay.
All right. So each of these canoes has 2 oars, and basically, if you're rowing an oar, you won't be able to take an action. So you can take both of the canoes, or you can take one canoe, or well, you can.
Can we all fit in one canoe?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Does the
Actually, I think I
down the-
intended to make them a little bit bigger because I imagine them as like pretty. Oh no! Well, I mean, this would be like pretty. These would be really big canoes, wouldn't they? It's a good question because you could, yeah, like you'd be able to fit in them in reality, but I guess you would be kind of all in terms of like meter-sized spaces. You'd be pretty bunched up inside them. But yeah, I'll say you can all take one canoe. We'll work out how to do that when it comes to it.
How like large are the canoes? Like not. Well, yeah. How many people can they fit?
Which ones? Like these ones?
Yeah. I'm asking in terms of base, like how many Ratfolk do I think there could be at like a maximum?
Oh. I'm imagining that these canoes could have like 8 people in them or something like that. Or so maybe there's like about like 14 of those Ratfolk.
Wow.
or 13.
Each one,
13.
or
In total. Maybe like
yeah.
the group that left, there's about like 13 of them, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Vindaris is thinking if we all want to take one canoe, we can put these bodies in the other canoe and just push that canoe downstream and let it flow as far as just out.
Yep.
We give
you can-
them an honorable burial.
I thought it was more of a like you're next.
Ooh, that's true.
Send a message.
I don't know who you're sending the message to.
It's downriver.
That's true.
The Ratfolk downriver.
Maybe Bram points down the river
Oh.
and he says something that you recognize. He says, Uzun Mizrak.
Ooh. Well, that's a good place to send a message.
Or even, yeah. What do you think? Twig? Or should we take both canoes?
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to take one canoe. And send the other downstream.
Sweet. Pretty intelligible.
Yeah. To gather up any evidence of a scuffle.
You can do that pretty easily. Bit of blood on the ground. You can sort of kick the dirt over it and put some leaves over it and such.
Yeah, and pile them up into the canoe and set sail.
Did the Ratfolk have anything on them? Like,
I was wondering if you could ask.
Oh no, I said that to Luke
Yeah.
before.
Oh, did you? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What did I
To Luke
say?
before we
didn't
didn't say anything.
All right.
You might have missed it, yeah.
No. Okay.
I lied.
I did lie. Okay. So, you find some things on them. I mean, let me think. Probably wouldn't find that much if they're kind of going off raiding. You find 3 carnivore rations.
Oh, sweet.
And you find... Let's see. Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. I rolled copper chalice with silver filigree. That doesn't make sense. I don't think he's carrying that around. You don't...
It's his mug.
Maybe they forgot it from the last raid in the canoe.
Oh, yeah.
That works really well. Yeah. You find that in the canoe. It's like, it's just sitting in the canoe. Kind of maybe there's even like, I don't know, would there be netting? Yeah, I mean, they might use these canoes to like do fishing and such as well. So maybe it's just kind of sitting in the canoe. Why not? Copper chalice with silver filigree.
I can add that to my chalice.
Yep.
Bron's not drinking from that chalice. Without giving it to Bron.
It'll go to his head. Okay, and you'll also find...
What?
Let me see... Oh, that was the same thing that happened last time. Nah, that sucks. Twice in a row sucks. I'm gonna re-roll it once. Okay, 11. Well, that's much better. Alright, let me see. You find You find 10 gold coins. Wait, sorry. You find 30 gold coins.
Hey.
Yeah. And that is all you find amongst these guys.
You said there was like some netting and stuff in the canoe? There was...
Yeah, alright, some old netting. That looks like it's used for fishing or something like that.
Okay.
I like netting. I like fish.
Alright, you can take that as well.
I take some netting.
There's I just say it's a
treasure.
net. It's a net.
Nice.
And she's like, "Hello, I'm Annette." No, sorry, that's ridiculous. You gotta have one per session. Where the hell is Reddy? Why can't I see Reddy? Oh, he's over
To
there.
the side. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Let me just see if I can give you a net, because there's... There you go. Net. There's an actual net. And you can use it as a weapon.
Oh!
Day.
Alright. But you don't find anything else.
Okay. I'll start pulling this body into this canoe.
Okay. Yeah, you can load the canoe up with the other two, with the three bodies. No, the two bodies. What do you do with the one that's living? Actually, like Bram is like, he like looks among you. He's holding the spear to this creature's neck, and he's like, he wants to kill it. Put it out of its misery.
Will take over the grapple because he knows AMA's character, and he'll signal to Bram, and we'll just go to the side, and he can do what he needs to do, and then load him into the boat.
All right. You leave. Bram will slay this Ratfolk. He's it's not like he takes pleasure in it, really. It's just revenge and hatred for what they've been doing to the Ketri. He just quickly
Done.
All right, and so you can put these corpses into the canoe and send it drifting downriver, and you can jump in the other canoe and begin paddling to head up the river. And the river is not, the current's not so strong that you would have too much difficulty doing this. And
Vindaris is... Oh, sorry, to jump in. Vindaris is happy to man one of the oars.
Sweet. So yeah, one person would be per oar, but we'll deal with that next week. We'll leave the session there.
Just before we finish up, if that's okay.
Yep.
He will also like to lay on hands for AMA. 5 points. I'll do that now,
Okay.
so don't forget.
Does Bram come with us up the river?
No, he kind of like shakes your hand, bows, and like wishes you good luck. You know, you think you get the gist of it, and he's gonna head back. He fought bravely, but he's not really a warrior, or at least not.
I think he
not
is.
a great warrior.
One day.
Hey, he's becoming
could
greater.
be.
He could be.
I'm sure he'll level up.
What's the lay on? Oh, you've done that. Okay, sweet, cool.
Yeah, that was for AMA.
All right, cool. So I'll give some experience points. Oh. What did we do in this session? We killed an immortal chimp. And we slayed these Ratfolk, took the canoe. So... I'll go... probably 400 XP each.
Wow.
There you go.
Ooh.
Oh, you gotta manually assign it. Yeah.
Ah.
Nice.